This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
The following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, it doesn't matter who the host is.
Hello and welcome to an all-new Rated R Safety Show. Today's Monday, December the 23rd, day 357, only 8 days remaining before it is all over with, the end of the decade, 2020, however you want to look at it. And we can really have a longer discussion about the end of the decade shit, but that's a whole other story. Anyways, did you miss me? Because I missed you. I sure did. Sorry about last week, but I told you there was going to be some times on when we would not be able to interact. And unfortunately, last week was one of those times. Not that I did it on purpose. What ended up taking place is I had the privilege and the opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to go to the graduate state of Texas. And while in Texas, where I was located, I did not have access to my broadcasting equipment. So I could not produce, promote, put out a new episode of the Rated R Safety Show. And I was heartbroken about it, but it's okay, because we're here now together once again. So let's talk a little bit real quick before we get into it. I have to tell you, over the last few weeks, it's been quite interesting. Some of the things that I have been able to see towards the end of the year inside of the safety zone. Oh yeah, I'm going to call it the safety zone. Amazing the amount of crap that I'm seeing on social media of people attacking other belief systems in regards of safety. It's kind of funny because it almost seems like they're having a measurement contest. Oh yeah, you heard me say measurement contest. And the reason that I say this is because my process is better. No, my process is better. No, my process is better. Really? Come on. Can we just talk about different concepts here, people? And I think it's funny the more and more I dive into it on how crazier it gets. People are just writing stuff to write stuff to get people up and going on social media. But hey, whatever it takes, people, whatever it takes. So anyways, how are you? Well, that's important. Are you ready? Are you ready for the next few days? Enjoying the holiday seasons here in the U.S.? Anyways, let me not drag on too long, and let's get you started with the news.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Well. Writing The Spectator, Matt Ridley, opinions that the 2010s were the best years in human history. He points extreme poverty rates falling to 10% globally, a plunge in global inequality, economic expansion in developed countries, record low child mortality, the extinction of famine, and a near eradication of all malaria and polio, and development in heart disease. Oh, so the 10s were so good. Glad that we're about to hit the 20s. Hopefully we can continue to move on. And of course, that is Matt Ridley's opinion. Just wanted to share that with you. Thought it might be important. Anyways, did you hear about this? Burlington, Vermont had a rough week. The city police department named 3 new chiefs over the course of 5 days. Yeah, you heard me correctly. Talk about public safety there. First, Brandon Del Pozo resigned after admitting to harassing a local activist on social media from an anonymous account. Deputy Chief Jan Wright took on the role, but admitted to the mayor that she too had secret Twitter account and thought that she didn't harass anyone on the platform. The mayor axed her anyways. Now Jennifer Morrison has come out of retirement, and she previously served in a nearby town and will take over in Burlington. Holy. 3 and 5 days. I have to tell you, this cyberbullying thing is very real. Some people don't even want to talk about it. But man, it's something that is real out there. And it happens all the time on social media. And I think that might have been part of what I was talking about at the beginning here. Because I see it. It's social media abuse to some. And we have the keyboard tough guys. Oh, yeah, keyboard tough guys.
Duh.
That I talk about all the time. And tough ladies, don't get me wrong. It falls under both. And I'm sure it falls under the binaries too, but that's a whole other story. Anyways, let's continue in the news here. Paul Davis thinks that Amazon should be broken up. He was Jeff Bezos' second hire ever back in 1994 to help develop the website before it even launched. Davis tells Recode it should be 2 entities, one for third-party sellers and one for where it sells its own product. He says, what's not valuable and what's not good is the company that operates the marketplace is also a retailer. They have complete access to every single piece of data and can use it to shape their own retail marketplace. I'll tell you, I don't disagree with the guy here. And keep in mind that I do shop on Amazon. Love it. But you have to take a look at it. They are cornering both ends of the market here. They can essentially look at somebody else's inventory, also pricing structure, and know how to actually do their pricing. Hey, I'm just saying, just having a conversation here. We talk about a little bit about everything, as you are aware. Anyways, let's continue on. Carnival Cruises has apologized to passengers on board 2 ships that collided while in harbor last week in Cozumel. 6 passengers were treated for injuries. Carnival blames sudden wind gusts and strong current for the accident. Well, I'll tell you, the video is all over social media about this accident. And of course, somebody's filming it and they post it up there. I mean, it didn't look like the wreck was that severe, but you have to keep in mind that we're talking about some monstrosities here that are moving around. And yeah, it's kind of a crappy scenario, but what are we going to do here? I know we could talk about safety standpoints and the hazards and the things that should have been done, but take a look at the video. Tell me what you think. Send me some comments back. Have you heard about this one? Convenience store chain Wawa is reeling from malware attack that started in March and by April had reached nearly all stores in their system. It was identified on December the 10th and resolved by December the 12th. In the meantime, though, anyone who shopped at the store may be exposed confidential information about their credit cards. Oh, yeah. So take a look at those credit cards, especially if you're a Wawa shopper, and make sure that you don't have any fraudulent charges. Because, of course, that's possible.
Duh.
I have to tell you, the more and more I look into the stuff, the more and more hackers there seems to be out there. I don't know what to do. I mean, I'll take a look at it. I'll tell you, I'm a big proponent of these NFC things, the near credit card bull crap or that you can use off your phone and all this other stuff that it kind of gives a generic or fake number. Not a fake number. It still ties into your card where it actually can do the transactions and it doesn't actually have your credit card number. It gives it kind of like a temporary number. I think it's a good thing there. Do whatever you want. Do whatever's in your best interest, but I think those things work well currently. Of course, something might come out that's better. Let's continue. 888 reports, that's AAA just in case, that more than 115 million Americans will travel one way or another between Saturday and January the 1st. That would be the biggest volume on record since it started logging data back in 2000. 115 million people. That's any fine form of traveling, people. Plane, train, automobiles, walking, I don't know, maybe even mobile scooters. Who knows? Who's counting? But 115 million people. I'm going to stay locked up here inside of the studio. I don't know. My wife might kick my ass if I do that. Anyways, I'm going to stay locked up, not do much in regards to traveling. Anyway, let's continue. Nike Jordan's brand earned $1 billion in its second physical quarter this year, a first for the iconic line. The earnings were over $10 billion in sales. Nike stock is up 48.4% this year. Well, good for Mr. Michael Jordan. Wonder how much he's bringing home on that. Let's get a cut of that pie. Anyways, they're good shoes. I'm not saying they're not. But man, $1 billion. Sold $10 billion. Made $1 billion. Pretty good stuff there. Boeing Starliner spacecraft successfully landed in the White Sands Missile Range early Sunday morning. It's the first safe landing of the crew capsule on land. Different from the all-in-one unit of the shuttle, and different than the Mercury, Gemini, and the Apollo missions that landed in the oceans. While it didn't dock with the International Space Station as planned, the crew teams is still calling the mission a success. I'm sure you heard about that occurred last week. I know I wasn't around. Don't hold it against me. But yeah, there was some information that occurred. Supposedly there were some bad things going on with the automation portion. I'm sure that you saw that. That was all over the news. Anyways, let's continue here. An asteroid is getting close to Earth. And while it's unlikely that it will hit, scientists keep on saying that they are keeping a watchful eye. It's cruising at over 27,000 miles per hour and still far enough away that there is no certainty about its size. At its largest, it could flatten Europe if it impacted the Earth. It will come the closest to the Earth in the early hours of December the 26th. Well, shit. We could be having the Armageddon movie or Deep Impact that I'm sure you've seen that was several years old at this point. But that was talking about an asteroid potentially hitting the world, kind of changing everything from their point. Anyways, let's hope that that doesn't happen. Let's continue anyways. The Center for Disease Control has announced that the new illness related to vaping are on the decline. It recently confirmed that the culprit for severe health issues is vitamin E acetate. So far, more than 2,500 lung injury illnesses have been reported across the country. Well. I know that you've seen all kinds of crap going on in regards of those things being pulled, so hopefully they'll continue to do so. Anyways, let's talk about the lottery real quick. No winner for Friday night's Mega Million drawing. Tuesday's drawing will be for $45 million jackpot or a $30 million cash payout, and no winner for Saturday night's Powerball drawing. Wednesday's drawing will be for a $183 million jackpot or $122.9 million cash payout. Anyways, let's talk about the weekend box office. Oh, yes, the weekend box office. We're only going to do the top five, so let's take it from number 5 up. Knives Out, $6.1 million. That's down from number 3 from the previous week. Cats drew in $6.5 million. That's number 4. Apparently, it scared the crap out of a lot of people. They didn't want to watch that thing because it looked way too freaky. Frozen 2, $12.3 million. That's down from number 2 from the previous week. Jumanji, The Next Level, $26.1 million. That's down from number 1. And then in the number 1 spot, Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker at $175.5 million. Now, listen to this. That was new for this week, but a lot of people still complained that the movie didn't do as well as they expected. The other portion was a lot of people hated the movie, said that it was terrible. I actually went and watched it. I thought out of the last 3 that they've made, meaning the trilogy crap, this was probably the best one out of the 3. My opinion. Nobody asked for it, but I'm sharing it anyways. And of course, there's some people that are ranting and raving about Eddie Murphy's SNL that occurred over the weekend. Anyways, let's talk about one of our favorite parts of the show here. Let's talk about the days of the year that you can celebrate today. Let's take it from the top. Festivus Day. Human Light Day. National Root Day. And of course, last but not least, the start of Hanukkah. Anyways, you have been listening to the Rated R Safety Show. Don't worry, we're going to come back before the end of the week. Just probably not during the holidays, just saying. So we'll be here together, some way, shape, or form. But like I was saying, you have been listening to the Rated R Safety Show. I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, bye.
Duh. Happy holidays from all of us at Safety FM. To you, wherever you are.
The countdown has begun. Find out only on Safety FM.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.